Perfectionism is just anxiety, and the root of all anxiety is fear. Hey, I'm Deja, and I am a recovering perfectionist. Through research and some self-reflection, I learned that perfectionism is really just anxiety, and all anxiety starts with fear. Anytime I'm anxious, anytime I am being a perfectionist, it has everything to do with my fear of not being enough. That started in childhood. That's something that I was conditioned to fear growing up. If I am being a perfectionist about something, it's probably because I'm afraid that I can't do it. I'm afraid that even if I do it, it won't be good enough. I've kind of gotten to a point recently where it was starting to be a serious hindrance and keeping me from the things I wanted to accomplish. So I kind of set out to figure out, okay, how am I going to solve this? And if I can't solve it, how can I outsmart it? And so here are 3 ways I am navigating this fear. The first thing I do is I move up my deadline. Now, this is getting into Parkinson's law, which is the idea that work expands to fill the time you allot to it. So for me, if I give myself 2 weeks or 3 weeks to accomplish something, I'll spend the majority of that time overthinking and over planning and kind of working up my anxiety to the fact that, wow, this plan is unachievable. What does it mean that I can't achieve it? It means I'm not good enough. But if I shorten the deadline, if I give myself less time to achieve something, there really isn't room to overthink. There really isn't room to overplan because I just have to get the thing done. If I'm in a class and the professor assigns us a group project due by the end of the day, we're gonna get that project done by the end of the day. And I'm not going to be overthinking about, oh, I've got to get up and I've got to present, or, oh, what if I didn't do enough research? What if this isn't good enough? There isn't time to have those thoughts. There's only time to do. And so I apply that principle to just about everything in my life. Shorten the deadline and don't create room for perfectionism to set in. The second thing I'm doing is making my goal visible and asking for help. Most people are willing to look something over or give you a second opinion if you just ask for it. My friends know that I struggle with perfectionism, so when I send them my top 3 ideas, they're more than happy to tell me which one they like the most. And then I can kind of take that knowing that what I produced was good enough and roll with it. And also, I feel like when you share what you're working on with somebody else, it kind of takes the pressure off of you. Because even if they're just in a supporting role, all of a sudden you've become a team of 2. It's not just you anymore. You don't have to put all that pressure on yourself. You have people who are there. They will be there supporting you and helping you stick to those shorter deadlines that you gave yourself. Asking for help helps so much with just, not overthinking. Like, hey, I'm going to overthink. Will you help me rein it in? And most people say, yeah. Most people who are close to me are more than happy to do that. And I tell them how much it helps. And hey, maybe one day I won't even need it. So I'm moving up my deadlines. I am asking for help. I'm also creating space for clarity. This one is huge. I've learned that my anxiety, my fears, have a tendency to distort my eyesight. I can be working on something for an hour. And at the end of that hour, no matter what I do, it isn't going to feel or look good enough. But if I take a few steps back, I take a break, I look at it again the next day, it looks fine, great even. And I'm really happy with what I've created. But I don't have that sense of clarity while I'm in the creation process. Working for too long is the perfect recipe for allowing perfectionism and anxiety to set in and kind of take over the narrative, take over the story I am telling myself. But if I take a break, if I shorten the amount of time that I work for, then it's a lot easier to kind of see my own work clearly. And so on these breaks, it is so important that I do something that will get me out of my own head, right? Hang out with my friends, watch a movie. Even if it's just scrolling on social media for 5 minutes, I have to get out of my own head. If I'm still thinking about the work that I just did, I'm just going to start overthinking about the work that I just did and go into my next session with those thoughts of overthinking, with that anxiety. Okay, so those are the 3 things that are helping me the most with my perfectionism and anxiety tendencies. But because I had a lot of fun planning this video, I actually have 2 bonus things for you guys. The first one is remembering that you are not that important. It sounds kind of mean, but it's true. You know, you're not that important. You're one of billions and billions of people on this earth. You are naturally the center of your own universe, but when you think about how small you are in comparison to everyone who's ever existed, it's a little bit easier to look at your work and go, this is good enough, right? Like, it's okay if there is an in a video, or if that wasn't the greatest subject line for that email. It's okay. You're not that important. The second thing is that nobody cares. Something that I have struggled with in the past is just like figuring out what to wear in the morning, right? I want it to be the best outfit possible, and I used to change my outfits time and time and time again, trying to find the perfect one. And at one point, my friend was just like, Deja, nobody knows what's in your wardrobe. And nobody cares what you're wearing. Just get ready and leave the house. Like, it is that simple. And so the bonus tips for you guys today are just realize like, you're not that important and nobody cares. It sounds harsh, but it can be a nice break from being in your own head. It can be a nice way to put yourself into the reality of the situation, which is that nothing anybody has ever done is perfect, and you're not the exception. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you found value in this video, and if you did, please leave a comment below. Also, if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel, it helps a lot in sharing these messages with other people. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.